Wowhead put a post out earlier about Zekvir and beating Zekvir in his lair and the rewards that it brings. Now, I thought this sounded like something fun to do, and I killed Zekvir weeks ago. It was one of the first things I actually wanted to achieve when the delves unlocked past tier 3. But I was quite intrigued to see if it would be quite a good way to farm Valor Stones like Wowhead claimed, and also runed Harbinger crests. Now, I just want to put it out here, it looks like it's warband wide, and you can only get the 2 runed crests, probably daily, but obviously I've only done it today, but on multiple characters, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, my monk is very well geared, my druid is kind of okay geared, and my evoker is probably a little bit lower than the druid, and I can kill it on the monk very comfortably, and because I'm not super confident on the druid or the evoker yet, it takes a bit more of a fight, and if I'm completely honest, I did die a couple of times before I even killed it. But I will go over how you do the boss, but I'm doing it on the monk in about 2.5 minutes each run. Now, at the end of 2.5 minutes, you are getting 25 Valor Stones, and as I say, I only got the 2 runed Harbinger crests on the monk the first time I did it. Now, the interesting thing here is it's classed as a tier 8 delve. So if you want a quick way just to unlock all 3 616 eye level slots in your vault each week, and you can do this quite comfortably, then you need to do 8 to unlock all 3 slots. If you was to say it took 3 minutes each time, less than 30 minutes, and you can get all of that bottom layer done. Now, some of the delves on tier 8, as you know, could take 15-20 minutes on its own. So if you're feeling a bit lazy one week, or you've been on holiday or something like that, it's a really quick way just to be able to unlock all of your vault slots. Now, I think it's got some good value, because as well as killing it the 8 times to fill your vault out, you're also getting a couple of 100 Valor Stones. If you're enchanting, this could be particularly lucrative as well, because you do get loads of greens that ordinarily you would just DE at the end, the things like trinket rewards and things like that. So being able to just DE those if you're a class that can is probably pretty cool as well. But overall, I would really be using this as just a simple way to get my vault slots unlocked. Now, he does also have a chance at the end to drop 584 veteran gear, which is one of 8 upgraded, and it's warbound wide. Now, I've not actually seen any drop personally, but I've only killed it 5 or 6 times today. Now, I'm not going to fixate too much on the rewards you're going to get for killing it the first time, because really this is not really about that. You're going to get a toy, and you're going to be able to get some spines on your back, you know, as in like a transmog item, but really I'm focusing on why you should farm it. First of all, you need to know what to do. Now, in terms of brand, my brand is like level 42, so, you know, if your brand is quite low level, you might struggle, but if you're looking at doing this because you don't need gear from Bountiful Delves, you're not really bothered about rushing the Delver's track, like the journey thing, then obviously you're probably going to be pretty well geared anyway. But if you've got good self-healing, you can do it with Bran as a DPS, but honestly, when I was doing it with Bran as a healer, it was just so much more comfortable. If for some reason you make a mistake and end up getting feared or getting stunned, with Bran as a healer, you've not really got anything to worry about, but obviously, ideally, you're not going to want to do anything wrong. Now, he's only got a few mechanics that you're going to want to look out for, and if you get hit by any of these, you're probably going to die. The first being Claw Smash, which you just saw there, which is fairly easy frontal to avoid. He also does an AoE Fear, so just move out of the ring. He does Angler's Web, where it will pull you in and pretty much one-shot, so just another conal to avoid. And then he does Enfeebling Spittle. Now, Enfeebling Spittle is actually not that important, but on the question mark difficulty, it's the only thing that there is to actually interrupt. When it comes to do it on the question mark difficulty, which is a lot harder and probably just not worth trying to farm, there's also a heal that he does that needs interrupting as well. So you'll actually prioritize the heal in question mark difficulty, but I don't want to go too deep into that, there's no point. So really, bottom line is when he's doing Enfeebling Spittle, if you've got your interrupt ready, then just use it. Now, this is not the only way you can get rid of it, because it does a humongous dot, and it really hurts, and you probably will die. But if you haven't actually got a way to interrupt at that moment in time, or you're something like a balanced druid, then don't panic, because it can be removed by anything that removes snares, because it's also, as well as doing a load of damage, it's a slow. So if you just shapeshift as a druid, it's going to clear it. If you take these talents as a monk, you'll be able to roll to get rid of it, or you'll be able to use Tiger's Lust to be able to get rid of it. So interrupting is not overly important, but what I normally do is actually put the boss on focus anyway, and then if I'm fighting one of the webs, which we're going to get to in a sec, then obviously I can just use my focus target interrupt and not have to worry about then wasting another GCD to roll or to use Tiger's Lust. If I happen to miss one, it doesn't matter. You just need to be ready just to be able to get rid of it in any way, shape or form, whatever your class has got to be able to remove slows. Now, I'll be honest with you, all of this so far is pretty easy. Avoid the 2 frontal cones, interrupt if you can, if not, get rid of the slow, and don't get hit by the AoE Fear. Now, the thing where it gets difficult is you need to save your cooldowns for the webs. So you're going to get a cocoon come in, and you're going to need to be able to nuke it down pretty fast. This is the sole reason, as a monk, I play Conduit instead of Shadowpan, and that's so I've got an extra bursty cooldown on demand. As well as obviously being able to run Touch of Death talents to just get Touch of Death more frequently, because these are the only hard part of the fight. You need to be able to get them down nice and quick. They've got a decent amount of health, and it's really annoying if you're melee and the boss decides to start doing his cones on the webs, or he starts trying to do an AoE fear on top of them. So you need a way to dispatch them really fast. Now, as a boomy, I had no problem with this whatsoever. I was just saving different cooldowns to nuke them down as soon as they spawned, and then it didn't really matter where he put his AoE cone because I'm a boomy. But as a melee, that can be a lot more difficult, like you'll see here. The second I switch onto the cocoon, he's going to instantly put his big AoE cleave on top of it. So you just need to be ready, and you need to know what you're going to do if that happens. But honestly, outside of that, just keep whittling away at the boss and focus on mechanics more than trying to burn him down fast, because honestly, there's no rush. You just rinse and repeat, avoiding the same mechanics over and over again. And I honestly wouldn't even use my personal DPS cooldowns on the boss. I would just save them for every web. So if you do this, it just means 25-30 minutes absolute tops. You're going to be able to get all your vault slots unlocked. You're going to get a decent amount of Valor Stones. You're going to get a couple of ruined crests, which I think is kind of neither here nor there, and then other random junk that you're going to get out of the chest at the end. And as I say, all of that in a couple of minutes each run is not too bad at all. I know some classes will struggle more than others, and I may have made this sound overly simple when, don't get me wrong, it's not. It's still quite a challenging fight where for that full 2.5 minutes, you need to be concentrating and you cannot slip up, because normally one mistake means you're starting it over again. But I do think once you actually get into it, you'll be absolutely fine. I can't think of any class off the top of my head that would really struggle, but I suppose you're going to let me know in the comments when you tell me your class can't do it. But I've done it on the free level 8s I've got, and it wasn't too bad at all. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.